Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Those that are going to be joining, thanks for joining. This is Ulu Olabode. This is our live session. So exciting. I'm looking forward to those that are going to be joining us today. Today, we're going to be looking at Actualizing 2023. So, hi everyone. Let's see who's joining. Either you're joining me on Facebook Live or you're joining me on YouTube. You'll be joining me on either of the platforms. It's exciting to be here. I'm glad, I'm pumped up, I'm ready to go. So I'm just saying, yes, let's get this done. So as you join, please let me know where you are joining me from. Let me know where you're joining me from. I have Mrs. Mama joining already. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining. As you join me, let me know where you are joining me from. Just put it in the comments. Let's know where you're joining. We're going to give a few minutes to see people join us. Just kind of wait for people to join us. So we're going to wait just a few minutes. Let's just wait just 1 or 2 minutes just to see who's going to be joining us. It's going to be exciting. I've been looking forward to this. We're meant to have this. It's a webinar. It's a live webinar. We're meant to have it last week Thursday, but because of a couple of things, we could not have it. So I'm so excited today that I'm having it. People are able to watch. And for those that are not able to join live, they'll be able to catch the replay. The replay will be here on YouTube. So people can always come back and catch the replay. But for those that can join, please join. Share the links with your friends. Let others jump in. Join us live. Live is always good because then you can ask questions. So it's going to be exciting. I'm so looking forward to this. It's going to be an exciting time. I'm gonna be, I've been looking forward to this. I think I guess more than a week ago. So it's gonna be a great time. Yes. Let's know where you're joining from. We're just gonna leave a few minutes just to get to know ourselves, see who's joining. I want to say thank you once again. It's always a pleasure to have people join you on a live session. So for as many as able to join, you might be on Facebook Live. Thanks for joining. Yes, I see you, Ma. Good evening, Mrs. Bomo. I see you. So Rosie Naigboka. Oh, Bamirolu Ashego Samson, you're welcome. Yes, thank you for joining. I want to encourage you. Please, you can share the links with people. You can share the links. If you can share the link that you used to join on Facebook or you used to join on YouTube. On YouTube, I believe it's bit.ly/Oluolabode. Let me pull it up so that people can actually join using that. So you can invite people to join with that link. It's bit.ly/Oluolabode from YouTube. So people can join as we jump into this. It's going to be an exciting time. I'm going to pray and then we're just going to jump into the slide. So how are we doing today? Let me get a few more comments. How are we doing today? How is today for us? Are we ready for this live webinar? How are we doing today? Okay, thank you. You're joining from Akure, Nigeria. Yes, let's know where you're joining from. It's going to be an exciting time. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's know where you're joining. Put it in the comments. Let's know where you're joining from. Excited. Okay. As we wait for people, let me pull up my slides. So for those that might not know me, my name is Ulu Olabode, and I'm often called the Purpose Midwife. So really, who am I? I always tell people I'm a beloved child of God. I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I'm a mom, I'm a wife of one man. I have 4 great nations. And really, my mandate is to stir up women, to unleash themselves from limitations, thrive in purpose, discover purpose, thrive in it, and maximize everything God has put on the inside of them. That is what I live for. So thank you. You're joining from Lagos, Nigeria. So if you don't know me, that is me in a nutshell. I'm an author of 11 books. I have about 3 in the works right now. So writing is, I'm also a book coaching I'm also a book writing coach. I love to write, but not just write. I love to help people write as well. It's one of the things that is so dear for in my heart. I love to help people write their books. I have the course, write your book in 30 days. I just love to help people write. So those are some of the things about me that you know. So let's jump into this. Thank you. You're joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria. So let's invite people as we jump into this. I'm gonna say a word of prayer. Okay. And let me know if you can see my slides. Let me know if you can see my slides. I'm gonna, before I even go into the slides, let me know if you can see my slides, and then I'm gonna jump into. Let me know if you can see my slides. Yes, you're joining from Lagos. I see Akure, Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. Okay. Let me know if you can see my slides. Let me know in the comments if you can see my slides so that I can make sure that you guys can see as we say word of prayer. Okay, Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you. Thank you for this session that we're going to have. Lord, we know it's going to be a wonderful session. 2023 has started on a wonderful note. And Lord, even beyond the notes that I've prepared, beyond the slides that I've prepared, I just ask that you would just speak to our hearts as we talk about actualizing 2023. What is it all about? We ask that Holy Spirit would move with us even as we do right now. Speak to our hearts and let this be a blessed session for everybody listening, everybody watching, in Jesus' name. Okay, you can see it. I can see Ms. Mama says she can see my slides. Thank you, ma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna jump into, like I said, I know people will cut the replay as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I've been ready to. So, actualizing 2023, the subtitle is 10 ways to take action on your dreams and goals. Thank you that you can see my slides. 10 ways to take action on your dreams and goals in 2023. So, it's interesting. It's been a wonderful year. It's been phenomenal. We've had, there's been so many words for the year. There's been, a lot of us have started to run, with the year. But I always tell people that even as you start to run with the year, sometimes you need to pause and say, what am I running with? So today, actualizing really is talking about how you can, some simple steps that can help you to take action on the dreams and the goals that God has put in your heart for 2023. Some of the things that God has put in your heart to do. God has said, I want you to do this year. God has said, I want you to do that. But some of the simple steps that can help you to take action, because really it's not just us knowing what to do, it's actually taking action that really matters, because you can know what to do and still not do anything. So as we look at today's webinar, it's really going to talk about some simple steps that can help us to take action on those dreams and those goals that God has put in our hearts. So let's look at this. So I have here, so I call it actualizing 2023. So I'm sure people were wondering, what does that mean? Really, what does it mean? So what does it mean to actualize? What does it mean? It simply means to make, when I look at the dictionary meaning, it simply means to make a reality of. So when I talk about actualizing 2023, it means that you are actually going to ensure that everything you came into this year praying would happen would actually become a reality. It is you going through, you putting in the work and you taking the steps. It's you actually taking those action steps. That is what actualizing means. So I one of the things that we're going to talk about is visualizing, us seeing the vision. But there must come a time. Actualizing really is really the process between moving from the how you see it as a dream or what God has laid on your heart to now move into reality. What are the steps that I need to take? What are the steps that can help me to get it from that place of dreams, to get it from that place of it's just being a goal to the place of being reality? That's what it means to actualize. So to actualize simply means to take action. That's what it means to actualize. So there's a scripture that I wanna share with us. Luke 14:28 says, Jesus said, for which of you desire to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? For which of you? So when you're talking about actualizing, it's not just, 2023 has started, let's go, let's start running. You must sit down and count the cost. You must sit down. Counting the cost simply means I'm sitting down to pausing to see the steps that I need to run with. I'm sitting down to see the map that I need to run with. Actualizing simply means is like you have a GPS and you are running with those steps on the GPS is leading you. That's actually what it means. So let's get into it. So actualizing is you taking action on the reality of you. Is you taking action on the reality of you stepping into all God has called you to be and do. So this year 2020, there are things that God has called you to do. There are things that God has called me to do. There are things He has called us to be. There are things that He's calling us to do in the place of purpose, in the place of those, He's laying those dreams in your heart regarding those teenagers, regarding those young adults, regarding your business, regarding your career. He's putting, He's putting dreams in your heart. He's putting goals in your mind. But guess what? It is you now. Actualization helps you to step into that place of all that God has called you to do. So those are the steps we're going to be looking at. So let's look at those 10 action steps. And number one, I put here as the 10 action steps. Number one, I say here is ensure you have an intimate relationship with God. And somebody might say, why do I have to ensure I have an intimate relationship with God? you know I have the intimacy with God allows him the permission to guide you. And you might wonder, why do I put this as number one? Why am I not putting it as number five, as number six? I believe that for you and I to actualize all that God has called us to do this year, we are going to have to be able to see from a perspective that might not be where we are right now. We might not even have the idea of how to see. So we need somebody that already can see beyond where we are. We need somebody that can lead us beyond where we are. We need somebody that has, and it's almost like you're using a telescope. He can see far ahead or beyond where you are. Someone that he knows where you're going and he can see ahead of you. So when you have that intimate relationship with him, guess what? Thank you, everyone that is joining us. You're most welcome. As you have that intimate relationship with him, guess what? That intimacy with him allows him the permission to guide you. Because guess what? You and I cannot even see the end of January. Talk less of the end of February. Talk less of March. Talk less of May, June. You and I can't see it, but there is one that can see beyond that, and so he can lead us when we give him the permission, because we have that intimate relationship with him. He can guide us, he can lead us, he can protect us from pitfalls that might be coming. He might say, "Oh no, don't do this way." Some of the goals that he has given you to do, you might want to go a different pathway, and he say, "No, pause on this. I want you to stop because that pathway is dangerous." But if you are not intimate with him, there is no way you will be able to know the pathway to go. You will not even be able to see that pathway. You won't be able to know. Intimacy helps you and I to align ourselves with all he has for us. Intimacy with him helps us to align ourselves with his purpose for our lives. Intimacy allows us to align ourselves with the plans he has for us. Intimacy opens us up to, I don't even know how to say it. Intimacy opens up to everything that God has for you and I. Intimacy with God means that you're letting the Holy Spirit lead you every step of the way. Every step of the way is like, how do we do? How are we going today? He becomes the one that leads you, the one that guides you, the one that ensures that you're going the right way. And guess what? I find that when we are in intimate relationship with him, we will not make mistakes. Even when we go into places of challenges, he has a way of diverting us. He has a way of helping us. So I believe that for me, this is like the biggest part of actualizing. So that before we even jump into things that begin to go, that relationship with God must be intimate. It means you must have a sync with God. You must have a sync with the Holy Spirit, leading you, directing you, showing you where to go. When you seem like you've missed it, you go back to him and say, "Lord, it looked like that was how it was meant to be. I don't think he's not working out the way you told me. I don't understand, but it looks like he's not working out that same way." And guess what? He's able to lead us the right way. So I believe this is number one, is like the biggest part of it. So let's go to number two. Number two I have here is study you. And some of us know this already, but see it as a reminder. Study you, ensure you have an understanding. Thank you, Mama Jess Moment. Ensure you have an understanding of who you are. So what do I mean by study? I talked about actualizing 2023. I found that I wrote here that for me, I always say, I said, the word of God talks about us carrying greatness within us. The word of God said that greater is he that he that is in you than he that is in the world. We carry the greater one within us. You carry the greater one within you. You carry God within you. And I always says that when God created you and I, he put a piece of, when he said that when he made us, because he made us, we have his DNA. So he put a piece of his creativity in you. He put a piece of his ability in you. He put a piece of his power in you. He put a piece of his glory in you. He put a piece of every bit in you. He put a bit of everything bit in you. So guess what? You carry greatness within you. But until you begin to study, until you begin to study what your strengths are, what it is, what it proposed you to be, what your identity is, what has it created, who has it created me to be? Do I even know me? Do I know what makes me tick? Do I know what makes me behave the way I behave? You need to begin to study yourselves. You need to know what your temperament are. You need to know what your makeup is. You need to discover what your identity is, your identity in Christ. And then as a person, you need to know what your gifts are, what your abilities are. You need to study you. You need to study you. I always talk about 4 P's. I always say every one of us carries greatness within us. And our 4 P's are: we have potential, we have a passion, we have a purpose. And we have 4 P's that lie within us, but we must study to know what they are so that we can find our place. Because before you can actualize, when you know what you carry within you, guess what? You are able to move with what you carry within you. And I wrote here that get to know you and all you have been equipped with. Until you discover who you are and the greatness you carry within, you will never know what your capacity is. You will never know. Until you and I know what we carry within, we will never know what our capacity is. And so if you're someone that you've not really studied you, I remember a couple of years ago when I began to ask God, what have you proposed me to do? He led me on a journey of finding out who I was. And I said, oh, that was why I like to write as a child. I didn't think those things were important. Oh, this is why I like to talk a lot when I was little. It was because I was called to speak to people. There was something that I began to discover about me that I saw as weaknesses initially, but now I begin to say, oh, they're actually strengths. They're actually to help me to actualize, my purpose. And so why am I saying that? Until we really study who we are, you might not be able to actualize all you have within you and the greatness you are carrying. And that scripture I read, 1 John 4:4, you have got little children and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. You have greatness within you. You and I are carrying greatness within us. Oh, I'm so excited. I have a book coming out. It's a book that I'm just starting to write. Unleash your God-given greatness. There is greatness within us. Somebody type, there is greatness within me. There is greatness within me. Please let me put in the comments, there is greatness within me. So no matter where you are right now, you guess what? You must be able to see that greatness within you. I want to see in the comments, type, there is greatness within me. There is greatness within me. There's greatness within Comfort. There's greatness within Damilola. There's greatness within Rosalind. There's greatness within Samson. There's greatness within Mom and Jess Moments. Somebody help me put in the comments, there is greatness within me. There is greatness within you and I, but we must find out what that greatness is. Yes, there's greatness within Ibuku. There is greatness within each one of us. We must tap into that greatness. There is greatness within us. But until you know what that greatness is, there's greatness within Bola. But if you don't know what that greatness is, guess what? You might never deliver that greatness. And so part of actualization is getting to study you. So the same way you go to the university to study a course, yes, there's greatness within each other. The same way you go to the university to study a course, let's go and study us. Let's go and study you. Study who you are. Number 3, I put here, which we will know. We have to, number 1, get intimate with God. Number 2 is study you, get to know you. Number 3, actualization 2023 is get the vision before you run. Get the vision before you run. Yes, Aristotle said in his quote, knowing yourself. Yes, you have to know yourself. And John Maxwell also says, know yourself to grow yourself. If you don't know yourself, you cannot grow yourself. Thank you for sharing that. So get the vision before you run. So before you start running, what is the vision that God has given you as a person? And that vision, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. You cannot go where you cannot see. So what is that vision that God has put before you? What is that vision that he's giving you as a person? What can you say? When I talk about vision here, I want you can see in the bottom of my screen, you can see a runner that is getting ready to run. The runner can see the race ahead. The runner can see the finish line. You and I have to be able to visualize the finish line. What is it that he has shown you regarding 2023? What is it that he has shown you regarding your purpose? What is it that he's shown you? Are you able to visualize? God said to Abraham, as far as you can see. What he was saying to him was, as far as you can visualize, as far as you can see in your mind, as far as you can imagine. So when God is saying to you, guess what? I have given you that. I have given you that business that I have called you to start. He's not saying he's not saying that business you will see it right now, but can you see the end? Can you see all the workers that you're going to employ? Can you see all the people that you're going to have in your organization? Can you see that teenage ministry that he's called you to start for those teenage girls? Can you see those girls being liberated? Can you see whatever he's called you and I to do? we must be able to see before we can run. So we must. So what is that vision that he's put before you for the year? I want you and I to begin to put it before us. Put it before you. Get that vision so that you can run. It says in Habakkuk 2, so he asks Habakkuk, get, you know what, write the vision, make it plain. Message version says, write it in big block letter so that he that runneth can read it. If you cannot read it, you cannot run with it. So you must be able to see that vision. And I have here, whatever you see, you can seize. So whatever you see in your imagination, can you see where you're going in your imagination? God says to you, guess what? I'm trusting you with a business that is going to bring in this amount of money. Can you believe it? And how do you believe it? You see it in your imagination. You begin to think about it. What is it going to look like? And that's what, and the more you see it, the more you begin to seize it. The more you see it, you begin to seize it. Let's keep going. The power of imagination. Our imagination is so powerful. You know, vision enables us to see beyond our current reality. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life right now. Guess what? You and I just need to begin to take baby steps to where he's calling us to go to. As we take baby steps, we're trusting him, we're going to that destination. We don't need to get there right now, but we can take baby steps. And our imagination is so powerful. People don't realize God gave us an imagination because he knows that if we can imagine it, we can take it. There were some people in the word of God. The Bible talks about it in Genesis 11:6. There were people that they planned to build a tower that would reach up to heaven. And guess what God said? That was why you know the power of imagination. He says, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. So nothing they have imagined to do, which means if you can imagine it, God can release it to you. If you can imagine it, God can bring it into your hands. Can you imagine yourself in that place that God is showing you in your vision? So you have to spend time to imagine. You have to spend time. Forget where you are right now. Where you are right now has nothing to do. God does not consider your past. One of my mentors will say, God does not consider your past to give you your future. He does not. He knows the plans he has for you. He knows where you are going. So he's not looking at your past. He's looking at your current. He's looking at where he's taking you. And so you must begin to imagine that future that you see. You must be able to see that future, that beautiful future that is putting before you. Begin to imagine it no matter where you are right now. Albert Einstein says imagination is the preview of life's coming attraction. There's this interesting story that I often hear about Walt Disney. When Walt Disney created Walt Disney, he created it in his imagination. And he actually died before they opened up Disney World. And as they were opening up Disney World, somebody asked his wife, Mrs. Disney, Mrs. Disney, do you think Walt would have been happy seeing this being open today? Guess what she said to them? She said he actually already saw it. They were puzzled. She said he saw it in his imagination. It was what he imagined that came out in reality. He imagined it. He had already seen it being prepared. And then they began to work towards it. When you're going to build a house, first of all, you don't start with the house itself. They have to imagine what the house will look like. Then they begin to build. So as I'm sharing with you today, I want you to begin to imagine that vision that God is showing you. Begin to imagine it. And then begin to plan with that imagination. Forget the resources you will need to actualize. Just begin to plan with that. I found that when you begin to take one step of faith after the other, God will bring the resources that you need to meet you. If you will just start with the baby steps of starting to plan, God will bring the activation to you. So number 4, as we now imagine, we get the vision. Now we must write down what we see. We must write down what you see. It is said already, 90% of people that achieve their goals are people that write it down. You know what? There's a quote that says the longest pencil is longer than the shortest, than the biggest memory, something like that. So you have to have you have to be able to write it down, because what you don't write down, you can forget. And when I say write it down here means you can put it on your phone. Thank God now I love to use my notes. Whenever an idea comes to me, what do? I grab my phone, get my notes, and I put it and I pin it. So when I'm looking for it, I go to my notes and I get the pinned one and I begin to actualize based on it. So when the ideas come to you, you don't even need to know how to do it right now. Put the ideas on your notes, pin it there, and begin to trust God. Write it down, because it is what you write down that you can run with. If you don't write write it down. Remember, God told Habakkuk, write it down, write it down. There's something that happens with writing. As you write down, you begin to believe what you write down. As you write down, you begin to strategize towards what you write down. I'm going to share about that. So when you write down, guess what? We talked about the vision, receiving it. It is what you write that now turn into plans. This is how the house is built. When you write the vision, you can, that is what becomes your plans. What you write down becomes your plans. It is now the plans that they break down and now becomes the goals that you're going to work with. So people cannot just start writing goals for the year if there is no vision. It is the vision that you see, that you say, okay, Lord, I want to sit with you now. Now, what is going to be the big plan? Now, writing it down, your dreams that you see, now you begin to break down into goals. Your dreams are simply goals with a deadline. That is simply what goals are. So those dreams that you see, that you're thinking, how is this going to be possible? Now you are saying, okay, let me break them down. You're just breaking them down into bit-sized pieces. Those are the goals. So you have the vision. You break them down into the big plans. Now you say, okay, which one is going to be actualized? Which one am I going to work on in January? Which one am I going to work on in February? Lord, which one is the one for June? Which one is the one for July? Which one? And I'm going to put a deadline on myself. I'm going to hold myself, I'm going to commit myself to doing this. So now you break it down into goals, and then you begin to take action. So you must have the vision, you must have the plans, you must have the goals, then you take action. We don't go ahead of ourselves. Okay. Let me know if this is helping somebody so far. Let me know in the comments so I can know that this is helping us so far. Let me know in the comments. I want to know if this is helping us so far. Let me know. Number 4, writing. Now I'm going to number 5. Let me know if this is helping. I want to see in the comments. I want to see your engagement. If this is helping you, tell me it's helping me. This is helpful. This is helpful. This is helpful. This makes sense. Thank you. I see a yes, ma'am. So number 5 is create time for. Thank you, Raymond Olumide. Thank you. Create time to think. So John Maxwell says, thinking precedes achievement. Often, a lot of people want to just run. They want to just achieve. Yeah, I want to be an achiever. Oh, thank you. Thank you, man. Thinking precedes achievement. Before you can do, you have to be. Before you can do, you have to be. You have to find the time to think. I think it's about Einstein that says that thinking, or either about Einstein or Henry Ford that says that thinking is the hardest work that there is. That's why only a few people engage in it. Thank you, Modupi Adebayo. Yes, it's helpful. So only a few people engage in it because it's the hard, it's like hard work. Thinking precedes achievements. So before we begin to do, we must first sit down and think, because strategies are revealed in the place of thinking. What is thinking? Thinking is you pulling away from the busyness. Thinking is you pulling away from everything that seems like, oh, there's so much. It's so easy to get busy, but it doesn't mean that you are effective. It's easy to get busy, but it doesn't mean that you are productive. You can be busy from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and nothing gets done. I don't know if anybody agrees, but yes, it can be. So you and I must create time. And it says here, create time to think, which means if you don't create the time, if you're not intentional about the time, it will not happen. So you need to know what to do before you begin to do. Thank you, value. In the place of thinking, you will draw out the map of what you need to do. Remember what I said? And that's why that intimacy I said at the beginning is so important. Our intimacy with God is so important. Then we talked about study who you are, study your temperament, study your strengths, your weaknesses, your gifts, study all of that. Then I talked about us, getting the vision. We have to write down the vision. Now I talk about write it down, then create time to think. In the place of thinking, you will draw out the map of all you need to do. So thinking is, and let me say one more thing about thinking. Thinking, it is something that you have to plan to do. Thank you, ma. At the appointed time, it will speak when you put in the work. You are so right. So if you don't spend time to think, sometimes a lot of people get ideas, but often because we don't spend time thinking, I think John Maxwell is the one that says that thinking can also be mentioned as reflection. He says reflection turns experience into insight. There's some experiences that we go through when we now spend time sitting down there and thinking, sitting down there and pondering over it. Guess what happens? We begin to get an idea of, oh, this is how I should have done it. Okay, this is how I can do it better. You begin to get strategies of how to do it. It begins to make sense. You're like, oh, and then you begin to write down. But I find that if you don't spend time thinking, if you don't create time to think, and sometimes you might say, you know what, I want to spend, sometimes it might even just be maybe one day, maybe a particular time of the week. It might be maybe Monday evening. It's going to be my thinking time. So people might say, okay, it might be Monday Monday evening, Wednesday evening, it might just be Sunday evening, whatever time works for you. But spend time to think upon your goals and your dreams, the thing that God is committing into your hands. Number 6, you must become intentional about taking action. So if anybody that knows me know that I'm very big on intentionality, you would know I'm very big about this. I talk about this because intentions and actions are not the same. If you want to take action, you must be intentional. Intentional simply means that I will do it whether I feel like doing it or I don't feel like doing it. And intention demands you to commit to taking action. I know I want to use an example of someone that wants to get married to a girl. If a guy wants to get married to a girl, he will be they are often very intentional. If you want to get married, nothing will stop him. So they often, with an intention, you have to develop a burning desire to take action, which means that you have to say, you know what, I want, how bad, it's almost like saying, how bad do I want this? How much do I want to change this year? How much do I not want to remain at the same level that I was at last year? How much do I want to grow this year? The amount at which you really want it will show in your commitment. So if I say, I really want my prayer level to go to the next level, what am I going to be committed to doing? If I say, I want my personal growth to go to the next level, what am I going to be committed to doing? That's what intentionality says. If I really want to be intentional about growing my business this year, what am I going to commit to doing? Do we understand? So all of these things, they just like that, you have to be very intentional about it. If you don't get intentional about it, guess what? It may never happen. So intention comes with, I'm going to commit to taking action. And you taking action means that I'm going to write down what I'm going to do. And I'm going to develop a burning desire. A burning desire simply means, how bad do I want to do this? How bad do I want to take this action? How bad do I want to, do I really want this thing to happen in my life? How bad do I want to actualize my purpose this year? How bad do I want to move to the next level in my career? How bad do I want to move to my next level in business? What am I going to be committed to doing? And I put it, your desire, that burning desire is like a craving, is a longing, is a yearning, is a strong wish. It's almost like when a lion wants food. I put a lion's picture here. When a lion wants food, it just wants food. It's going to do anything to get its prey. And really, when you desire, it's not that you're going to do anything, but guess what? It means that you have a strong wish. You have a strong desire to say, I'm going to commit to this. I have said I'm going to write that book. What is stopping me from writing it? I'm going to face whatever is stopping me, and I'm going to get there. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write it. I've been saying I am going to start. I'm going to open up this YouTube channel. I've been procrastinating for the last 1 year. And people have been asking me, why have I not opened this YouTube channel? What am I waiting for? Ask yourself, what am I waiting for? So what are you going to be committed to do to say, this YouTube channel, I'm going to open it? You know what? No more procrastination. I'm going to YouTube right now and I'm going to do it. So with commitment, you have to begin to write down what you're going to do. And then you begin to work with it. Then guess what? We're not just going to commit to it. I want us, one of the ways that you actualize is that you get accountability partners to hold you accountable. This always helps a great deal. Look for people that can hold you accountable. If you are married, it could be your spouse. If you are not married, it could be a friend. A friend I know, I will not let you go. A lot of my coaching clients, I tell them, if you will not do it, I will be on your neck. It's like when people come to my writer's bootcamp, I tell them, I'm on your case till I see this book come out. So you have to get accountability partners to hold you accountable. You know why? Because you might go back on it. It's almost like when somebody, for those people that used to be drug addicts in the past, when they come out of drug addiction, you know what they do? They, like in where I live in this part of the world, they get into this group called people that were alcoholics. They get into this group called Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, whereby they hold them accountable to ensure that they are keeping up. They are not falling back into their old lifestyle. That's almost what that person is going to be on your case. So if you know a friend that can hold you accountable, say, you know what, these are the things I've committed. Someone that you know that is on the same level as you, someone that has a growth mindset like you. Tell them, this is what I want you to hold me accountable to do this year. These are the things that I'm trusting God to get done. These are the dreams of my heart. Like I said, if there's a spouse, your spouse can be your accountability partner. If you don't have a spouse, you can get friends that can be your accountability partner to hold you accountable to those things that God has called you to do, to hold you accountable so that purpose will not be wasted, so that the dreams and goals that God has put in your heart, we make sure that they are coming to realization this year. Get accountability partners. Number 8 is one of my favorites. Commit to continuous growth. Hey, you must commit to continuous growth. And what do I mean by this? You must commit to continuously grow yourself. So when I say continuously grow yourself here, personally grow yourself. So I want to ask you, what books are you planning to read this year? What courses are you planning to attend this year? One of the people that is on this course today, that is on this line today, I think is Comfort. I saw that she's gone back to school. She started an MSc. I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is, this is growth. So what courses are you going to be committed to doing this year? What books are you going to be committed to reading? What training sessions are you going to be committed to doing? What coaching sessions are you going to be committed to sign up for? How are you going to grow yourself? How are you going to invest in yourself this year? That's number one. How are you planning to grow yourself? Because if you don't grow yourself, you might remain at the same level. So how are you going to be committed to grow yourself? Before somebody will invest in you, you must first invest in yourself. So how are we going to be committed to grow this year? How are we going to be committed to grow? Ensure your relationships are also growing you. So one of the ways that we must personally grow ourselves, also one of the ways that we grow is the relationships around us. You will start after this meeting. I'm going to hold you accountable. Thanks for sharing that. So you guess what? Our relationships around us. Jim Rohn says that you and I will become we are the average of the 5 people closest to us. So if you look at the 5 people that are closest to you, what is their growth like? Whatever their growth is like, that's what your growth is going to be like. So if they are not what you want to see, you must begin to change your circle. You must begin to change those that are around you. If it's not going to be what you want to see in your life, if it's not what you want to see in 2023, guess what? Look at your relationship circle and say, no, this person is not going where I'm going. I need to get growth relationships. Who are your coaches? Who are your mentors? Who are the people that feed you? Who are the people that are helping you? Who are your peers? Who are the people your friends that are pulling you up and are helping you to grow? Who are the people that when you say, oh, you know what, I need somebody to somebody that I can confide in, someone that we can talk together on the same wavelength. Who are the people that you call? Who are the people that you get in touch with? Who are the people that you listen to? Whose YouTube messages are you listening to? Who are the people that help you to grow spiritually, that help you to grow maritally, that help you to grow mentally, that help you to grow, emotionally? Who are the people that are helping you to grow? So grow personally, grow your relationships. It is so key. It is so key. God brings people around us so they can help us to get to our next level. And another thing I want to mention is that you must commit to having, and this is something that really helps me and is still helping me. I want to encourage us to commit to having at least 5 key daily growth habits. 5 key daily growth. That's one of the ways that you can grow. That can even, you put a demand on yourself to have at least 5 key daily growth habits. You know what? If your daily habits that you have now are not causing you to grow, look for other daily habits. Change them. No, they are not written in stone. Change them. I want to say one of them, if you're, you think of them. For someone like me now, I always say, my at least 5 daily growth habits I have to practice every day. Exercise is one of them. Time with God is one of them. Reading is one of them. Journaling is one of them. So guess what? Reviewing my dreams and goals daily is one of them. So what are your 5 daily growth habits that will cause you to grow? They will push you to grow. If you commit to them, you'll be amazed. Like, guess what? Thank you. Yes, it works like 5. We have a group of 5 people, accountability partners. Awesome. Growth doesn't just happen. John Maxwell will say that growth is not accidental. You can grow physically accidentally, like you can grow older accidentally, but you cannot grow personally accidentally. You cannot grow yourself personally accidentally. You will have to be intentional if you want to grow. So you have to commit to that growth, and you have to make sure you are putting things in place to ensure that you grow. So your daily habits, in fact, this is one that it has helped me take me to another level. And I want to talk a little bit more about it. What you do daily. As I was writing this, I was thinking about it. John Maxwell often says the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. He often says if he comes to your house in a 24-hour period, he can tell you whether you're going towards success or failure because of what you do in your daily routine. So look, are you wasting your time? Because time is so precious. So we need to protect our time. So are your current daily habits causing you to grow? If they are not, we need to look at them and say, I want to do away with them. So what daily habits would you commit to do? What you do daily is what culminates in what you do weekly. What you do weekly is what culminates in what you and I do monthly. What you and I do monthly is what culminates in what we do yearly. See how the thing goes down from daily to weekly, from weekly to monthly, from monthly to yearly, and then it's another happy new year again. and then we look at what have I done with the last 1 year. So that's why we have to protect our time. And that's why we need to watch what we're doing daily. We need to make sure that we are doing the right things. We need to make sure that we are protecting our time. We need to, and I want to give you an assignment. One thing that's one of the things that helped me, that I learned from one of my mentors, is that you can document what you do. Have a daily schedule. Document what you do for like a week to see what you are doing for your week. And it will tell you whether you have time, free time, or you have time that you can waste. It will be able to see it on plain paper. It's an assignment I will give everybody that is on this thing. It's something that has helped me, and it's still helping me. Write what you do daily, then write what you do weekly, and you'll be able to see if you are, you have time to waste, or if you've been wasting time, or if you need to. We're only in day 11, so we're on day 12, so we can still correct a lot of the things that maybe we might have made a mistake on. We can still correct them. So that is that about that. Number 9 is review your dreams and goals daily. One of the ways that you actualize is to review. And why would I say daily? Why would I not say review? I know a lot of people say, oh, review your goals and dreams monthly. I learned this and I practice it, and truly it works. When you review your dreams and goals, thank you so much, Samson Bamiro. There are 5 things that it helps you do when you review your dreams and goals daily. It helps you to pray over them. So you find a lot of people will write dreams and they will write goals of what they want to do in 1 year. And guess what? They will put it write it on a piece of paper, and they will just put it somewhere, and that's the end of it. They might not even see it till June or July. So, but when you review it daily, it means that you have it written down. Every day you are going over it. Maybe you have, at least you have top 10, your top 10. Don't let it be more than 10, because if it's more than 10, guess what? It might be too many. At least 10. At most 10. But these are 5 things that it helps you to do when you review them daily. It helps you to pray over them daily. You are praying over them, you're speaking over them. And speaking over them means that, like the word of God says, that we call those things that be not as though they were. You might not know how it's going to happen, but you're declaring over them. You're declaring over them. You're declaring that this is going to come to pass. This is going to happen in my life. I don't know how this is going to happen, but God, you're going to help me to bring this to pass. So pray over them. You speak over them. You strategize them. And Father, when you review them daily, guess what? God begins to drop strategies in your mind as you are going over them. You begin to tweak them. Oh, okay, not this way, this other way. It works. In fact, it works. And by the time you now read by the middle of the year, those things are so ingrained in your mind as you review them daily. Just at least the top 10, top 10 dreams and goals that you are trusting God to do this year. Review them daily, write them down, write them out, and begin to pray over them. You speak over them, you strategize them. And I found another thing that it does, that it helps you to see opportunities to make it happen. Because that's what you're doing. Because now you have them before your eyes, which I'm going to emphasize on number 10. You see opportunities to make them happen. It's almost like when you buy a new car. I don't know if anybody attests. If you buy a new maybe Ford Lexus, a new Lexus car now, you find as you are driving that Lexus car, everywhere you go, you begin to see Lexus. Was it that Lexus was not on the road before? No, it was there. But it's a power of that's the power of perspective. Now your perspective is towards a Lexus car, so you begin to see Lexus car everywhere. You see, there's a red Lexus, there's a blue Lexus, you begin to see it everywhere. It's something like you see it everywhere you go. That's what happens with your dreams and goals when you put it before your eyes, when you put it before you. And so when you review them daily, guess what? You see opportunities to make them happen. You begin to imagine them happening to you. It helps you to imagine them. It helps you to put them. And that's why God said to Abraham, as far as you can see, as far as you can imagine. If you can imagine them happening, guess what? They will eventually show up in your life. And that number 9 and number 10 are tied up. When I said, put them before your eyes. Oh, thank you. It's such a great reminder. We need to commit to it. That is how it happens. Yes, put them before your eyes. So what do you do when I say put them before your eyes? You create a vision board. You create a vision book. I want to talk about this, creating a vision board. So we've talked about all the different things. Actualizing them, putting them before your eyes means you put it in a place where you can see it every day. A vision board is simply a cork board. It's simply putting it before your eyes. One of my mentors says, but I don't know if it's, so I quote it as an anonymous quote. What you put before your eyes will eventually show up in your life. Guess why? Because you are looking at it. This is what a vision board looks like. It's like you looking at what you want to do for the year. And then you put, I always encourage people, get images of what that is going to look like. You've gotten the vision from God. You've gotten the map, how it's going to work out. Now begin to write, what are the steps to get there? Those are your dreams, those are your goals. So the dreams are those things that's going to do. The goals are the action steps that you want to take to get those dreams to come to life. Now get pictures that match what those goals are, and now get a board and put those pictures on it. And When you put it before your eyes, yes, it attracts, thank you so much. It attracts resources and opportunities that bring realization. That thing is so key. It is so key. It has worked for me over the years. It's still working. When you put it before your eyes, you'll be amazed how you begin to attract resources. Maybe there's even people resources people, there are people that have been called to help you. When you put it for your eyes, you begin to, it's almost like you're a magnet. You draw them to you. You are attracting them to you. That is what a vision board is. That is what a vision board is. So you are putting out, now you get pictures that match those goals that you've gotten at. You got the dreams, you put them in action steps, the goals. Then you get the pictures to mark them and you put them on a vision board. It is so, you'll be amazed what this does. And what did I write? Why did I say a vision board? Because I wrote it. Steve Harvey says this: if you can see it in your mind, you will eventually hold it in your hands. Which means, because you can see it in your mind, now you're taking it from your mind, you're putting it on paper, you write it down. Then you're taking it from writing it down, now you get images and you begin to walk towards those images. You begin to say, okay, I'm able to do this. So you will find, if you write 10 goals, if you practice this, trust me, come and ask me this time next year if those goals have not come to pass. If you're reviewing it every day and you're putting it before your eyes, guess what? Because you will be amazed, you will attract resources. You will be energized to go after it day by day. Even when there are challenges, God will begin to download strategies of how to get it to happen to you. So get that vision board and put it where you don't have to put it where people can see it, or put it where you can see it, because you will lay hands upon it. You will decree over those goals. You will decree over those dreams. You will call those things to pass. You call them, you believe them. A vision board is simply a collage of pictures and images illustrating your dreams. It is where you frame your future. So what we're saying is that which we actualize, let's frame it. Is where you frame your future instead of your past. No matter where we might have been through, we can have a better future. And so the beginning of that is, guess what? No matter what 2022 brought, I can do better in 2023. Let me get those things that I'm trusting God to do. Let me get those pictures. Let me begin to believe God. I've practiced this and I still practice it and it works. And begin to trust God for those things. There'll be some big dreams that maybe you don't even know when it's going to happen. Put them around those 10 goals. Put them there as you trust God to bring them to pass. And now the 10 goals you're working to for the year, put them on that board and lay your hands upon it daily. Review it daily. Speak over it. And you see, I wrote it, we move towards what we constantly see. Because if you don't see it, you cannot move towards it. Because you don't even remember it. You've written it in January. And that's why I don't like New Year resolution. Because New Year resolution means that I resolve to do it, but people will write it and they forget about it by end of January. People have forgotten about what they wrote in January. On the 1st, they've forgotten it. But when you write your dreams, when you write your goals, when you put pictures to it, when you put it before your eyes, guess what? You will be amazed how you attract resources. You'll be amazed how you are energized daily to go after it. Even when you are challenged, you're like, no, God, with God, all things are possible. I can do this. I trust you, God, to help me to bring this to pass. So it helps you to move towards those dreams and those goals. And the bonus one I want to put in is, the bonus point I want to put in is tap into God's grace to help you. So we've practiced these 10 ways to actualize. Now let's tap into the one. Like, remember, I started with intimacy. We are ending with what can help us beyond what we can do by ourselves. Let's tap into God's grace to help us. The word of God says, if God's grace doesn't help the builders, they will labor in vain to build a house. If God's mercy doesn't protect the city, all the sentries will circle it in vain. If God's grace doesn't help the builder, it means that you and I can run and we can run and we can run, but without the grace of God, we might just be doing it in vain. So when you have done your own part, so we know it is a partnership here. So you've done your own part. What you now do is do what? You say, you know what? God help me. I've done my own part. Now I'm tapping into you to help me to play your own part. So now God is putting the icing on your cake, putting the icing on the cake for you. You are playing your part. He is helping you. You have the natural. He has the super. He puts the super on the natural. It becomes supernatural. And people begin saying, it's like you know how to do this thing so well. But no, it's not because you know how to do it so well. It is God's grace. You are tapping into the grace of God to help you. You're tapping into that grace. And God is saying, you're tapping into God's grace to help you. And so there is nothing like tapping into that grace. So each of these steps are things that can help us. They look like they are simple steps, but they can help us to actualize our 2023. They can help us if we will just take each of them and begin to work with them. So I want to just share. So just a recap, how to paint your 2023 canvas. So now 2023 is like a blank canvas that we have. We've looked at the action steps. No, in a nutshell, how do we paint on that canvas? It's a blank canvas. So we get the vision, We see the vision, we visualize the vision, we believe the vision, meditate upon it, we see it, and we do it. It's like a 5-point action step to paint on your 2023 canvas. With those action steps, let's begin to run with those action steps. Begin to do those things. As you begin to do them, you'll be amazed. You'll be like, wow, how did this happen? I really want to encourage you with that. And just before you go, I have something that I want to share with you. So this is how we can paint on our 2023 canvas. Let's get the vision. Let's visualize the vision. Let's believe the vision. Let's see it with our eyes of imagination. See it means we can seize it. Let's see it and begin to speak over it. Let's begin to speak, and then let's begin to work on that plan. Let's begin to work on that plan. And I want to encourage you, celebrate as you do these action steps. Celebrate the milestones. Don't let what maybe you made a mistake along the way, or maybe it didn't work out the way you thought it was going to work out. It doesn't matter. Celebrate where you are. Celebrate the milestones. Be excited. Keep going towards those goals. Keep celebrating the milestones. It's so important. And so I want to just share with us. I have a few, just about 3 offers I want to share with us. If you're someone that say, oh, I have learned something from this, don't go yet. Just about 2 more minutes and I'll be done. So if you, I explained to you at the beginning, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. And one of the things that I love to do is come alongside people and help them to actualize, have them to actualize their dreams, their goals, help them to execute it. I've done this in the past with a lot of people. And if you were someone that said, I would love someone to come alongside me to help me actualize, I have 3 offers I just want to share with you quickly. If you're a woman here, I have the position for intentional impact coaching that I want to share with you. And let me share it in bigger screen so that you can see it clearly. So, it's a position for intentional impact coaching is I help you to visualize, strategize, and actualize your goals. We work on breaking free of all limitations. We work on aligning, clarifying, and thriving in purpose. We work on setting up systems and structure for impact, influence, and wealth. That is what I help people to do in this session. So if you're someone saying, oh, I'm interested in that, I would like to find out why. And you might say, what am I going to be getting even in this session? Let me share what you'll be getting with you. Let me share what you'll be getting. We have monthly group, it's a group session. So we have monthly group sessions and practical strategic group sessions with an insight into how to execute on those dreams and goals, how to set up appropriate systems and structure. I find for a lot of people, system and structure can be a big thing. When I first started, I had no system and I had no structure. So that was where I had to start. And really, that is where you start from. And then we have, within this coaching program, we have a one-on-one coaching. It's a 3-month coaching program. We have a Facebook community and we have an accountability experience. You also have a 3-month access to my inner circle. So all of this normally would have gone for 1,993, but guess what? For everyone joining on this call for the next 48 hours, it's going to be going for $297. It's meant to be going for 1,993, but it's going for $297. Someone will the link to join up for that will be put in the description. The second one is you're saying here, oh, I'm not a woman. I'm a man. I'm not a woman, but I'm looking to actualize. I need to help me to set up an actualization plan and start executing on it. So I have a 30-day actualization period plan whereby we're helping you to set up your intentional growth plan for your top 3 goals for 2023. We have I have a weekly 45-minute group session to help you brainstorm on your most important goal. I had this with someone that wanted to write a book. This happened in 2020. I also did this in 2021, whereby I come alongside you. I help you to actualize on that most important goal. Then we have there's going to be a 30-day experience, hand-holding experience, whereby for that 30 days, whatever it is that you want to work on, particularly, we work on it together. And there's going to be a Facebook community whereby you can interact with other executors as well. And the total for this, the total value for this is 1,196. I believe it is. The total for this is 1,196. But for those that sign up within the next 48 hours, it's going to be going for $29, $29.99 for the 30-day period. We're going to be helping you. So you get the growth plan. You get your every week for 4 weeks, you get the 45-minute group session, you get the hand-holding experience, and you get the Facebook community, whereby we are going to work together to brainstorm about your dreams and goals for 30 days. That's going for 29.99. And that my very last offer, so that's going for 29.99. My very last offer is one of my favorites is my inner circle. It was called the Mentoring Academy, but it's becoming the inner circle, and it's for growth-minded women who want to stretch and maximize their capacity in 2023. You want to maximize. You say, I want to actualize my purpose this year. I want to thrive in purpose. I want to execute on my dreams and goals. I want to have a growth mindset throughout the year, from January all the way to December. So this is for you. And we have I have so many bonuses in here. I don't even know how to start reading it. You have the growth-minded community of visionary women. That values for $2.99. You get the unlimited. Last year we had 12 growth sessions. Every month we're having growth sessions, 60 to 90 minutes. You get unlimited access to the 12 growth sessions from last year. The value is 1,188. You get premium master classes that we did last year. I had effective systems and structure to dominate your sphere of influence. Masterclass by Dr. Samuel Ekwela. In fact, that was alone. It was it's enough. That's the value of that is $2.99. I also had intentional growth masterclass for Christian women. It was 10 growth practices that can help you get intentional about your growth. We had that last year as well. So you get access to that. You get 50% off all my events. You get 10% off my one-on-one coaching sessions, and you get all my masterclasses held in 2023. The value of all of that is 2,583, but for the next 48 hours, it's going for $39.99 only. So monthly, you'll be paying $39.99. So it goes for $39.99 monthly. And really, I'm so excited about these offers because there's so much. So there is so much that God has called each one of us to do. And if you want to find out more about any of these offers, if you want to find out about any of these offers, you can go to oluwalabode.com. Also, if you are in our email list, we will be sending out the offers as well so that you can take action on it. And then if there are any questions, I can take questions in the chat before we go. I have about 4 minutes. I wanted this to be like an hour. I can take questions in the chat before I go. I can take questions. If there's any, I want to see your feedback, your questions, anything anybody wants to ask. And let me know if this has actually been insightful. Let me know if this has been helpful. I know put it in there earlier. If this has been something that has made sense to you, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let me know if this has been an insightful session for you. If this has been an insightful session, let me see. Anything you want to give feedback on, or anything you want to, any question anybody wants to ask, I'm waiting in the chat to see if anybody's going to be asking any questions. Anybody asking any questions? This has been a wonderful session for me as well. Any questions? I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see any questions in here. So let's see feedback, questions. I want to say thank you to everyone that has joined. And once again, for those that will be joining us on YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube, while you're there, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, it's a coach and mommy enter to work with. You never regret it. Sign up for anyone. Yes, so my mama was in my coaching program last year. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Pastor Grace Ajayi. It's awesome having you here. Thank you. You're so welcome, my Delphi. Oh, my people in the mentoring academy. We're ready. We're just Saturday is our first. It's going to be our first session. So our mentoring academy is becoming our inner circle. We're going to have an awesome time. If you want to join us on Saturday, sign up now. It's $39.99. All you have to sign. Thank you so much, Matt. This is insightful. I'm sure you will put on autopilot. Trust me, if you practice it, you come back and share the testimony with me. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. So are there any questions? Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys shared. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. This is awesome having your comments. Thank you so much for sharing. If there are no questions, we're going to call this a day. Thank you so much, everyone that has shared on here. I'm so excited. Thank you. So the offers, again, we have those 3 offers. So if you want to find out more about it, if you're in our mailing list, you'll get the offers in your emails. And I would also have it on my Instagram bio. So if anybody wants to, if you go to I am Oluwalabode, you'll be able to sign up for any of them as well. So have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you, everyone. Bye.